Hey man, what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm good man, how are you?
Good, good.
Nice. You literally just subscribed, didn't you?
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Got lucky right away. Anyway, considering you're on the American server, I suppose we should switch over to the US server, right?
Okay, well, I can switch to Europe if that works for you.
No, I'm already in America right now. It's cool.
Okay.
So yeah, man. Have you had any luck lately on StarCraft, or?
A little bit. Yeah, since HOTS came out, it kind of... I'm not playing as well, but...
What league are you right now?
Diamond, North America.
Okay, cool. Let's have a look then.
Let's see, let me,
I was already a little bit worried, man. Like, on Skype you have the Grandmaster League icon, and I'm like...
yeah, I was Grandmaster at the end of Wings of Liberty, when it was really easy to get.
At the very end? On the
Yeah.
NA server? Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. Is it the group or the chat?
It's the group. I can do either, though. Doesn't really matter.
Fine, LowkoTV.
Yeah, let's have a look at your statistics first. Is that like one specific matchup? Oh yeah, I see. There's,
like mech is a issue.
I see that right now, yeah. Like your Zerg versus Terran is 36% win, and your ZVP is actually really good. It's funny, because most people that I talk to are really struggling versus Protoss and are kind of okay versus Terran. And then it's like a significant loss right there versus Terran, which is cool. So is that like you're like the main problem, like ZVT mech, or?
Yeah, I think I'm getting better against Protoss. I started using Swarm Host more. And that seems to work out pretty well.
Okay, and ZVZ then? It's mostly the all-ins that you mentioned, or?
Yeah, early Ling all-ins, holding them off effectively.
Okay. That's cool. Is that like the early 9 pools or 8 pools, or like the later Ling all-ins, like the Ling Bane Ling all-in?
A little bit later, 14-14 I have issues with, but that's maybe just micro.
Okay.
Which I need to work on my own, so...
So, how does it usually go for this, like, bio play? Is that just a matter of practice that you're so good against it, or...?
Yeah, just having enough Banes on hand.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of funny how that works. Like, you don't see mech for like a year, and then all of a sudden mech comes back, and everyone is having issues with it. It's one of these funny things that happens in StarCraft all the time.
I think it's when they patched the upgrades, because they had it so that the armor upgrade was shared, but not the weapons, and then they changed it so the weapons were shared as well, and everyone just goes mech now.
Yeah.
Because they have the option to change.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be... It's one of the things that it's already coming up more and more, and then all of a sudden a change like that just basically gives it a lot more momentum, if it makes sense. Like, just gets a lot stronger. So yeah, I will just watch this game mostly through your vision, see what you see. So, when do you usually realize this mech? Because that's one of the big things. Usually, like if you don't scout it in time and you already have mutas coming, it's kind of an issue.
I'm pretty good about scouting it, but then, like when they move out and do a timing attack, I just die.
Okay. So what would be like your standard response? What kind of a unit composition do you generally go for?
I try and get some Muta Harass in, slow it down, and get some Swarm Host out into Viper.
Okay, because that is usually like the good thing to do. So we'll see where it goes from. Did you ever do any coaching before, or it's like the first time?
This would be the first time. And I'm gonna play this like I don't know he's going mech.
Yeah. I should just do a roach timing push right now. You would be amazing. The one thing that I actually found still to work very, very well in ZVT. Oh.
Oh, what the hell did I do? Getting lag.
The one thing that I really still find very useful though, is you know the 2-base timing push with roaches and banelings?
Yeah.
You barely ever see it, but it wins so often in ZVT still. Like every time I've tried it lately, it's like 80% win at the very least, just straight up. And obviously you still have a 3rd base going behind it, so that's like one of the options that you could go for still. You don't really see pro gamers do it anymore, but it's still very good.
Yeah.
Although I suppose you don't want to do that every game.
Right. It's oh, I still have workers inactive. It's one of those things where if it's pretty much an all-in.
Yeah. Okay, so far so good, right? Like no issues.
Right.
So do you usually leave your drones on gas, or?
Yeah, and I'll get upgrades fairly early.
Okay.
Oh, I'm supply blocked.
Oh. Yeah, so usually what you would want to do is actually put the drones off gas, because it actually is kind of tricky to support this much larva income at this point in the game. Maybe this much gas as well, because you likely can't really support it quite yet, but kind of depends on when you start getting the ether chambers. But usually you don't put the drones back in gas until you have circling speed. That's like the standard timing.
Okay. Well, this is what I normally do.
Okay, no, it's fine. I was just, we'll see. So yeah, around 150 gas, right? Yeah. So do you ever open up with like more than 2 queens, or do you generally tend to...
Yeah, I generally get 4, but
Okay.
I don't know.
That's
I'll get 3 this game. Oh, and yeah.
So do you have any problems versus that Hellion Banshee play you see a lot right now, or does that usually go quite okay?
If I scout it like I did, I can usually deal with it.
Okay. Because there's like the 3rd base is like in a normal game you would actually get that much earlier. So you're actually going to fall behind an economy quite a little bit right now. But we can see. Maybe we can probably change that quite easily. Is this usually when you take the 3rd base, or do you usually take it around 6 or so?
If I don't scout banshees, I'll throw it down earlier.
Okay.
Instead of getting the spores.
Okay, makes sense. Okay, and the Zerglings are purely going to be defensive, I suppose?
Yeah, against the Hellion.
Okay.
Well, now that I have the upgrades.
Ooh, that's the risky moves.
Yeah, maybe a bad idea.
Yeah, usually you never want to move off creep with Zerglings until it's necessary. A free Banshee, though. That's sweet of him. So just to put it in perspective, he already has his third base up and running right now. And yours is actually like only just now getting a little bit of saturation. So usually you want to get that saturated a little bit earlier. I think we can quite easily just change that by simply changing the build that you're going for to a more standard one. So that means like pulling off the gas a little bit earlier and then getting the upgrades a little bit later, but getting more queens out instead. Because getting the early queens out also allows you to defend against the banshees much easier, and then you can also actually get a third base because of that. Because right now, obviously, you couldn't really take the third because you couldn't defend it. I think even like a little change like that, even like literally pulling off gas would already make a huge difference.
And I don't know why I'm lagging right now. This is weird.
No. You can pause if you want, that's no problem.
No, it's alright. And Blue Flame tells me it's mech without really scouting it, so...
Whoa, that was quite well played right there by him. But yeah. Like honestly, like right now, like technically speaking, if you would go up against like a high master player, I don't think he will ever give you this game back. Just because of the amount of economy that they will have up on you, if that makes sense. And it's mostly like a build order sort of situation where you can just change a little tiny things and it would be a lot stronger, I feel like. Okay, that's a nice round of drones. It's a nice little pickup. That's a huge pickup actually. Nice. So only just now you really start catching up in economy. Because of the third base really starts mining right now. But yeah. Sounds of flowers. So do you ever like execute a timing push against mech at all, or do you just usually just sit back like this and just
I'd sit back like this a lot of the time, but
Okay.
I'm gonna see if I can push the swarm house out. I go muted to try and force him into more Thors, and you know, swarm hosts are really gonna get Thors, so.
That's good. Like, honestly, right now it's actually very well played. Like, there's not much change you could really make right now, except for maybe like a little bit of a quicker swarm host and a little bit later hive. But besides that, it's pretty, you know, it's really, like, it's really good. I think mostly the most mistakes were made in the earlier part of the game, because you lost a lot of economy. And honestly, like, Ape King's macro slipped quite a little bit. He has a lot of minerals and gas right now, so do you. But I think most of the mistakes were definitely early game. So that's cool. So I suppose this is where you feel like the strongest, right? Like whenever this situation is it right around here, where you really can make like a ton of swarm hosts.
Yeah, I don't know. I never really feel confident against mech.
Okay. Do you ever have like problems versus run bys and whatnot?
That is one issue, but I mean he has some Hellions that I can tell, but I don't see too many.
Okay. Yeah, usually whenever you play against mech, that's just one of the general things. Just make a ton of static defense everywhere, because you can see like you start stacking up tons and tons of minerals anyway. You can't really spend that.
Oh, damn, that was not good. I'm just gonna fall back and play defensively.
So the muta investment in this game is actually really good. Like being able to pick up double upgrades like that was actually absolutely huge. Because usually he would be at 3-3 right now and he's only at 2-2, so that's obviously like a huge win right there. That's good.
It looks like I don't really have to worry about this push too much. It's kind of dying out.
Actually very solidly played right now, like to be honest. Like, there's not much I would change about it.
Yeah, this is going to be a problem though.
Ooh, yeah. This is exactly what you were talking about, though, where the late game starts to fall apart.
Right.
When they have a lot of mech out. Okay, so I would completely switch to anti-air right now. There's really no reason to make any more ground units, because she basically kills this entire ground force right now, right? So I wouldn't really worry about that anymore. So you're gonna also need some static defense right now. I would literally just park them everywhere. Like sport crawlers, that is mostly. Because when you have a bank like this, there's absolutely no reason, like you're still at 80 drones right now, right? So there's really no reason to have that much economy anymore, so just make static defense everywhere. It's usually the best option. You only need around like 50 to 60 drones in the later part of the game. And likely what you want to start doing as well is expand much more heavily than this. Because you can literally take all the bases. Do you ever get like a second spire up for double upgrades?
Yeah, I put it down.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, there we go. My bad, sorry.
I don't think I have enough anti-ground at the moment.
I think we lost a lot of storm hosts. You had 24 earlier, there was only 5 left. There we go. That 110 Zergling production right there. That's awesome.
Should be able to take care of the ground.
Yep. Don't make too many brute lords. You only need about 8 or so if you're gonna make them.
Or not.
Or
Holy
not, no.
crap.
I always underestimate Hellbats. There were literally 110 Zerglings versus 6 Hellbats. I would morph a couple of brute lords over you. Hellbats are so good, man. Dude.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, did you cancel the roof lords?
Did I?
I think so. I don't see them anymore.
I canceled some of them, I thought. I didn't know I canceled all.
No, we have no brute lords available anymore. Okay, so let's have a quick look at that replay. It was a pretty good example game, right? Like, does it usually go like that?
Yeah, I usually do a lot better early game with 4 queens, 4 to 6 queens.
Okay. Yeah, because honestly, that was like the biggest thing. Usually, like, the build order is not really, like the build order was a bit all over the place, if that makes sense. Like, it wasn't as good as it could have been. I wrote down a couple of things you could be working on. But I think that's the biggest point in this specific game. Because usually whenever you deal versus mech, like in general it was really well played by the way, but in general, whenever you play versus mech, you're gonna need a lot more creep and a lot more vision than you did. Because the real problem is indeed when they start switching into like a massive kind of airplay in the late part of the game.
Right.
And to really stop that, you need to make sure that you know how much gas income they have. Because I think at some point the guy had like 12 gas gauges up in mining, and that was just, you know, it was just too much, and it really, you know, it pretty much just goes terrible from there on out. So those are like just little tiny things, though. It's cool. But yeah, do you have any questions like for now, or it's cool?
I don't think so. I mean, I didn't play that game to my best, but
That's fine. So usually what
dropped.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
So look. There's BattleNet right there for you.
I think I have a better connection to the Europe server than North America.
Really? Where are you located in like in the USA?
New Mexico,
Cool.
which is like next to Texas, if you don't know.
Yeah, and I watched Breaking Bad. That's the only.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yep, I'm from Albuquerque.
Really? Oh, cool. No, but seriously, like that's so far away. It's cool though. Must be like morning for you, isn't it? It's like it's
What time is it?
2 p.m. or something.
It's noon.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's literally like it's about 8 in the evening over here. Anyway, yeah, you're in the game right now, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So usually what you want to do in the early part of the game is get the early Zergling speed out. I really like that part. But then I think you put the drones in gas for much too long. Like, that really prevented you. That was like the one thing that really prevented you from getting that Fort Queen out. And I think that Fort Queen is really, really, really important. Not just for the creep spread, but also for the defense. Because eventually that Fort Queen really allows you to take the third base in around 6 minutes. Like, no matter what, even versus like Banshee harassment, you can still take that. Because usually at that point you have like the natural and the third connected with creep. And that's like one of the big issues I feel like in this game.
Yeah, I have a decent build order to get 4 queens and the upgrades and all that, except when I stop mining with half my workers right there.
Yeah.
That kind of screwed it up.
That's not ideal, no. In general though, like, you don't really need the upgrades that early.
Okay.
Like, usually you get the upgrades at like a standard timing just to deal with like 2 base timing pushes from a Terran player. Because usually you don't really use these early upgrades that much, right? Like, you're not really going to make use of them anyway, so... I
do bandling all-ins once in a while, but didn't make use of them.
Okay, okay. Yeah, then I would definitely make it like a very specific build, if I were you. Like, definitely like a 2 base all-in then, with circling baneling, or maybe even roaches with +1/+1, but other than that, I really would like... hold back a little bit at least with getting such early upgrades, because it really, like, it usually, like, the third base is taken around 6 to 6.5 minutes, and yours isn't down, I believe, until like 9 minutes, and that's just a huge part that it just goes wrong, you know? Like, it's one of these things that is like easily fixed. Oh, well, that's the first thing I would at the very least change, like, just pull off gas as soon as you have 100, and then once you actually have 100, you start Zergling speed, and then when Zergling speed finishes, you start a second gas, and you put the drones back in gas, and then you continue as normal.
Okay.
And that also would allow you to get the Fort Queen out, obviously, get some more creep spread going, and get the third base around 6 minutes.
Alright, so once Zergling speed finishes, get another gas and put workers back on?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
This little run by the way, like with these Zerglings is really good. I like the way you did that, like running, basically just outrunning the Hellions right there. That's actually a big deal because it forces them to move back, so that's cool. Do you ever like overload scout in ZVT?
Yeah. With this map, it's a pain in the ass, but I try.
Okay. No, yeah, I was just wondering. That's cool. So your response to seeing this is instantly putting up 2 spore crawlers, right? Okay, yep. 3 swallowers, almost even. It's good.
But he doesn't go for cloak. Oh, there it is, yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I think he had it, but he never really used it. I'm not completely sure.
He was
Okay.
attacking the spawning pool, I remember, with cloak.
Oh yeah, that's right. So yeah, usually like the third base would already be up and mining, right? Like, or not up and mining maybe, but you would actually already have it up.
Right.
And usually this big swell of Zerglings, by the way, that you already made pretty early on, I believe it was like 6.5 minutes. Usually make like the big swell of Zerglings right when Zergling speed is about to finish up. That's actually also when an inject pops up in like a standard game. And that's usually when you make like a big amount of Zerglings. Right now, you haven't made that many yet actually. Is it only 5 Zerglings that ran by right there? Oh yeah, that's fine. But usually, right when it finishes, right now, or a little bit earlier, is when you make like a big round of Zerglings. So that usually allows you to defend against these Hellions early on.
Game resumed.
Yeah, I always try and play cautiously with Hellions because some Terrans will just run into your mineral line and just kill you. So
it's really frustrating. One of the things you can also actually do for Hellions that I found very useful is to just simply never do this. Like what you're doing right now with the Zerglings, going off creep. Like once I actually stopped doing that, I actually started playing so much better for Terran. So literally just never leave creep. It's one of these little tiny thingies, but it's probably the best thing I can give you when it comes to this. Unless you like would need to defend the third base right now, you need to scare away the Hellions, but other than that, I would just literally always leave them on the creep until you like actually plan on moving out.
okay.
Game resumed.
Cause yeah, he kills a ton with these Hellions. It's good bench defense though, I like that.
Yeah, I underestimated the number of Hellions he had right there. I thought I could kill him with my upgrades.
Yeah, so yeah, I would literally just try it and see how that goes. Just never leave creep until you have to with Zerglings. Because like you give away a lot of Zerglings once more right now that are really not necessary, you know? I don't know if I can see that. Yeah. So far you actually lost 62 Zerglings in this game and you killed 15 Hellions. I suppose that's okay, but it's not necessary. This is good though. Like your defensive skills are actually really good. Like that's actually really well done. And the mutate change is obviously very strong as well. And now you start joining up hardcore. So yeah, I would just try and make these little tiny changes and then get this swell of drones out a little bit earlier and yeah, hopefully that actually should give you a bit more economy. Because you can see like his third base is already up and running, where yours is just about to be, you know? It's just a big deal.
Yeah.
And what's the reasoning right now about the Hive? Is that just the upgrades or is it actually going for Vipers?
I was planning on Vipers, but I didn't have a whole lot of gas at any point. So I just went with the upgrades.
Okay, yeah, usually I would actually delay that a little bit as well, because most of the time you will switch into the missile attack upgrade anyway, so you don't need that quick of Hive, you don't really need the Vipers just yet. So usually I would defend that or like wait with that a little bit as well and get the Enduring Locust out a bit sooner, and then maybe around like 15 or 16 minutes getting the Hive, but it's just a little tiny thing.
Alright.
Well, this harassment is obviously really good. And then there were a couple of things that would change up a little bit later in the game, because this is really a part where I wouldn't change much. Like, this is actually very solid. The mutate harassment is really strong. And then just holding that push was fine. It was mostly about the swarm host control. In general, it seemed that your swarm hosts were much too far forward. Like, swarm hosts actually travel a long time. It does now need to, like, get them that far forward. But we can get a good example right now. Like, you can probably even reach the third base just from this position right here. And most players, most players will move the swarm house. Yeah, those. Most players will actually move the swarmers all the way over there. When in reality, you could just literally sit on the creep. I noticed that especially like Stefano on his stream, he literally never even moves the swarm host anymore. He would literally just burrow them right there and just rally them straight to the third base. Even if he doesn't reach it, he doesn't really care about that. So I would just move my swarmers all the way back, like a whole lot more than necessary.
Game resumed.
Okay. Yeah, I try and get them a little bit closer so that when they get there, they can actually do some damage before they die.
Yeah. I think it's most like I think it's more important though with swarm hosts to make sure they stay alive.
Yeah.
Because
the creep spread this game was pretty bad though.
Yeah, and that also like relates back against like the fourth queen.
With the queens.
Yeah. You can see how far they travel, right? Like, they got pretty far already. Well, they don't quite reach the third base, I suppose, but that's fine. And the other Locust is only just 9 production. That's cool.
Yeah, I forgot that.
So, like, if you can spare the APM, what you also want to try and do is actually get an overload on every single base. I'm sure you're aware of that, so I won't, like, really emphasize it very much.
I can take care of that.
Yeah. Yeah, he just gets a ton of gas up right now. He will get, like, an enormous amount of gas mining. It's just too much.
Yeah, 95 to 90 harvesters.
And also, like in general, whenever you play Swarm Host, just start creating like static defense everywhere. Literally like a line of spines right there, a line of spines right there, a line of spines right there. Like literally everywhere that you can find. Because most players, I'm not completely sure why he didn't, but most players will go for like a lot of Hellions or Hellbat drops. And once you go Swarm Host, you just don't have an army that is quick enough to deal with that. So even though he wasn't going for that in this game, so it was a good call to not make it, I would just make them blindly most of the time. It's smart though to actually force him to make tours. Like see, like for example, right now, these those do just fine. And these are much too far forward, if that makes sense. So usually you would unburrow those and maybe move them up there, just to be safer. Because those are literally like pretty much next to the Thors. And other than that, yeah, other than like expanding more in the later part of the game, I didn't really write down anything else. Yeah, do you have any questions about like more of this game, or you ready to play another one?
I can do another one. I don't. It's just the air switch there at the end. And losing my Swarm Host was not good, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the things you can, by the way, do versus Hunter Seeker Missile is literally just fly your Corruptors in there. Like, have you ever noticed that, or?
Yeah, I actually did that. I don't know if you noticed it. The two that were targeted, I flew them in and killed some.
Oh, okay.
It's coming up like pretty quick.
Is that right here? Oh. I was looking for that, but I couldn't find it. That's a painful sound right there. All these Swarm Hosts dying.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like the biggest deal in dealing with Ravens. Like literally.
Like right here, I fly the two back. I think. Yeah. Killed some Widow Mines and.
Yeah. Besides that, I would also this static defense is very useful.
Right there. Yeah.
So I think in the later part of the game, it's mostly just about how much income you're like giving him. Just getting all this gas up in every single corner of the map, pretty much. He's actually not even mining from it for whatever reason. But just having vision of it is really important. And then obviously, like you had the income to actually make this. It was just a little bit of a calculation mistake as well.
I think at this point, if I had a Roach Warren, I'd probably make a huge flood of roaches and try and kill him.
Yeah. Roaches are kind of a tricky unit though, I've noticed, like especially versus Mech. Because you need to get rid of them as soon as they're useless, right? Like, after you dealt with this, you need to get rid of roaches.
Right, so you make a bunch of roaches, kill this army, take out the expansions.
Yeah, and then
here,
instantly switch back into like brute force.
like here and here.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely worth getting a Roachborn. I actually didn't notice. Did you get a Roachborn at all in this game?
No.
Mm.
Oh, I canceled all of them. I thought I canceled like 4.
Yeah, so that's fine. Let's just play another game and see how it goes. So just delay the gas, like the upgrades a little bit, and then switch into a 4th queen instead, and go for a quicker 3rd. I think that should actually already change a lot.
Okay. Oh, the queens also. I'm used to making 2 at each base instead of 1 and 3.
Mm. I like the fact you added on a 5th queen though. It's not something you see the programmers do all that much, but I've found it really useful against like Heli and Banshee openers nowadays. I don't know. It's mostly like a preference thing, but if you like the queens like you were doing like that, I would definitely not stop doing it. Like 5 queens is really good. But yeah, I see what you mean. And obviously talking and playing and listening and at the same time is also...
Yeah, I'm not playing nearly as well as I normally do.
Yeah, it's fine though. Just tell me when I need to shut the fuck up. Like, look, goddammit.
CC first, so I'm not even gonna bother with the gas at the moment.
Okay, I like that. Do you prefer playing gasless or?
Against this, you know, the queens can hold it off, I think. I just get up to 6.
Okay. Yeah, okay, I like that. No, I was just asking. Some people absolutely hate playing gasless and some others like absolutely love it. I personally prefer to play gasless as well. It's just so tricky versus Reapers.
But there's no Reaper coming,
Yep.
so...
Okay, just queue up the more queens. You said you were going all the way to 6 queens?
Yeah.
Okay.
So then I'll have 3 for creep spread.
Mm-hmm. So when do you take usually your gases?
Pretty soon.
Okay.
I'll take 2 at the natural.
Yep. That's good. Okay, there we go. I'll make a big round of drones. Yep. Now try and focus as much as you can on the queens. So it's gonna be drone making, queen injects, and then more. Okay, what do you see? Okay, same setup.
Banshees.
Okay, so get a drone or a spore crawl on every base. And you might even want to consider getting a spine at the third as well, because of this map layout. Because obviously your circling speed is going to be late. You might want to get a spine. It's up to you though.
6 queens. I don't.
I would make a couple of Zerglings, just for safety. Like maybe 10 or so. That's about it. And make sure you have all your queens there. There's no use in the main right now. Okay. Now you want to go back to droning though, so you don't want to be you don't want to stop droning for too long. Okay, I want to get the double evo, as well as the lair, as well as a baneling nest. Oh, don't go up for it. Okay, so just move your queens back on creep. There's no need to be out in the open like that. Just have them defend instead of like attack. Drone, drone, drone. Want to start the overlords. Okay, good. Now rally everything to the third, yep. So I would start a lair, the baneling nest, and the armor upgrade. And now you really only want to worry about drones. You're gonna have to saturate a third as soon as possible. Now we didn't see a third command center, so if you can spare the APM, you could try and scout around for a third base. Don't chase him. Yep, good. You also want to start triple overload production at this point. Like whenever you make an overload, make 3 instead. Okay, there we go. That's up to you if you want to go Muta again, or if you want to decide and actually go straight into Swarm Host. I would get a Roach Warren as well, yep. So you really need to figure out right now whether or not there's going to be a fourth base out. Because if that's the case, you actually need to get your own fourth base, or a third base for him. You need to get your own fourth base going, if he has a third. I'll get my infestation pit as well. Yep. Okay, let's start +2. There we go. Good. And if you're afraid that you're going to be floating minerals again, just make whenever you feel like that's going to happen, make a macro hatchery. Okay, want to make a bunch of roaches. Okay, good. And you want to start the locust upgrade. Okay, the creep spread is going actually really well this game. Good job on that. Okay, and just start as many swarmers as possible.
The hive cluster is under attack. The hive cluster is under
You also want to start more roaches, likely. Kind of depends if he was gonna go for a push or not. Okay, just split up your roaches. Don't worry too much about it. Send a couple to the fourth. Yep. Because they're actually pretty good at killing buildings. Surprising. Okay, well done on that. Okay. So you want to start the gas guys is over there. Start as many swarm hosts as you can, and then with whatever minerals you have left, you want to start some at the fort base, some drones. I would actually personally make these swarm hosts first, just because he can actually go for a timing push right around now, right? Now you're completely done droning, though. You don't need any more. I would actually instantly start some spines as well at the fort base. Yep. And also transition to a hive right around now.
Yeah, I usually get the hive a bit earlier.
It's good though. Very well played so far. It's good. Just make sure you start spending those resources as soon as possible. Okay. You want to go around 25 swarm host-ish. I wouldn't go more than that. But literally just value your swarm host at some area. Doesn't matter where. I would send them just straight to the fort base. So I would just burrow my swarm host and just send them some way. Literally like an attack path. I would put them all the way back though. There's no reason to be all the way there. You're not going to be able to reach his natural anyway. And when this hive is going to finish up, you want to start +3/+3 as well as a couple of vipers. So, you know, you're going to not need that much gas anymore. Or you're not that much minerals anymore, so you could prepare making some static defense. Did you already make the spire, by the way?
No.
So. Okay.
Oops.
Oops. There we go. And I would make it like a couple of spore crawlers as well. And with whatever you make, just replace the Oop. You want to move your units back? Yep. Okay, this burrow is one right there. They don't need to be that much forward. And usually whenever the hive finishes, you want to make the vipers right away. So that's really easy.
Yeah. Kind of screwed up with that. Made a bunch of roaches.
I think you can still be fine though. You might just lose this base. Just take the base in the bottom left corner of the map. Don't sacrifice any roaches for no reason. Just give up this base. I would actually unburrow my my swarm host and just send them all the way back. You're losing a lot right now again. Okay, that's good. But yeah, those swarmers were really far forward again. Okay, so you lost a couple of drones. You probably want to try and replace those at the fort base. Yep. And you might just want to take your old fort base as well. Make sure you don't kill gas guys, right? Oh, no! No! I was reading the chat right there. Bro, the swarm host. Okay. Blinding Cloud, go. I think you had a good chance of holding that push the first time around, though. If you would have had the Viper side just in time.
Yeah, Vikings do work on Vipers, so that kind of sucked.
Oh, I wouldn't. Yeah, there's a lot of roaches. The Terran player is just casually making 8 command centers right now. But yeah, usually whenever you finish the hive, which you get around 15 minutes, you want to get the Vipers out right away. Because you would have actually been able to stop that push right there. Because you had the spore crawlers at the fort, you know, you would have had enough stuff to hold it, but... Oh well, man. I hope it helps either way. It's a couple of things.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not playing very well. Maybe being on stream, whatever.
That's fine, man. But yeah, just change the early game a little bit, and in general, like, put back your swarm house a whole lot more, because the swarm house they don't need to be that much forward. That's like the big thing. And out of that, like, delay the hive a little bit, and change the build order up slightly. I think those are going to be the biggest things you can take away from this. And all that, do you have like any questions or whatever?
I don't know. What do you think about just doing like burrowed roach movement against that kind of thing, or is that too many tanks?
If you would be able to get underneath it, it would have actually won. I'm not completely sure if you had a Raven out for detection, but it all like I generally don't really like strategies that require your opponent to make a mistake, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah,
I don't like putting all strategy in like one little movement and then hoping he doesn't have detection out. So it's kind of up to you. It would have actually worked if you managed to get all these roaches underneath the siege tanks, but
yeah, I really hate swarm host. I mean, they are just really a pain in the butt, and they're boring. But it doesn't seem like there's another way to win against Terran Mech or against a lot of Protoss army compositions.
Yeah. I feel like you cannot on Heavy Rain. On Heavy Rain, you really need to. On Frost, like the first map we played, I think you could have gotten away with playing Roach, Hydra, Viper, but then you would need to play a lot more aggressive and somehow, some way manage to get into his natural.
Yeah.
And just, you know, get on top of his production. But other than that, it would be pretty tricky. If you want to play Roach, Hydra, Viper, make sure you get a little bit more than like the standard amount of Viper. If you want to get like 7 or 8 or so, because they get picked off quite easily. And then, as far as the Hydra list timing goes, you want to get the Hydra then as soon as the Roach Warren, like right around the same time.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a really good strategy, but if you don't, like, just make sure whenever you play that, just realize that whenever you don't manage to kill him in the middle part of the game, you just sort of lose late game. Because there's no way you're going to be able to beat, like, a maxed out mech army with Roach, Hydra, Viper. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. I don't know, it's swarm host or risky stuff, so I don't know.
I know what you mean. Like, yeah, I think the biggest mistake with the swarm host you made though was like mostly just putting them much too far forward. There's really no reason to put them that much forward. It's like the natural instinct to like put them right there, but you can just move them so much further back than is really necessary. Just like take a look at like a pro gamer stream and just see what they do, and they put them back so much further.
I think that's one of my issues, or my main issue with swarm host play.
It's the same versus Protoss. Because sometimes, like, I do that all the time, where I literally just put the swarm host in blink range, and they will just blink and sort of kill all the swarm host, and I'm like, why did I put them there? Like, the damn thing
Yeah.
travels for like 40 seconds. It's fine. But yeah, other than that, man, like if you have any questions, feel free to just message me on Skype.
Alright, we'll do.
Or if you have like a replay you want me to take a look at, that's totally fine.
Yep.
And yeah.
Thanks for the coaching there.
No problem.
No, you
Man.
don't have to do this, but
Thank you for subscribing. It's awesome.
alright. So, well, are you going to be streaming more, or are you done for the night?
No, I'm gonna be streaming for about another 40-ish minutes or so. So it should be good.
Alright. I'll check it out.
Okay, man. Talk to you later then.
Alright. Take it easy. See ya.
Yep. Hello everyone, my name is Loko and welcome to a new replay analysis. Today we're not gonna take a look at our game of mine, but we're gonna take a look of Chill King's game. Chill King is a gold level Zerg and we're gonna have a look at what went wrong in this Zerg vs Zerg. Now Chill King is